All right, welcome ladies and gentlemen. Trying to see what's going on with, yes, all right, so my YouTube is working. I'm not sure where it's not showing up. Again, as I mentioned, there you go. At least it's catching everyone there. All right, well, welcome ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for a little technical difficulties. I am working on some different things through the summer and everything's kind of changing up. So I did want to welcome to you guys on week 24, open Q&A. And I have a little bit of a change up for my live streams this week. It's actually kind of weird because typically I would be looking at the camera, but I actually have a different lens, so I actually can't see myself fully in front there. But there was a little thumbnail that I did have at the beginning, and I do want to kind of hear from you guys. Those are actually two pictures from superlatives that I had when I was in 8th grade as well as my senior year. So I'd like to kind of get up the live stream. I have some couple things I want to share with you guys, also as well as some questions. But before we get started, I want you guys to see, what do you think, what superlative do you think I was winning in that exact one? Oh, why is this not showing? So go ahead and put in the chat what you guys see, and I'll see if I can go ahead and find that chat. I'm not sure why it's not showing up in there. I popped it right back in. So I can't see this chat. This is so annoying. Okay. So I'm going to add it to the chat. I'm not sure if I'm seeing anything. It's weird because I'm seeing it in one software that I am live going through, but I can't see as far as in the, let's go back into the live studio with that. But it's not showing me as far as accessing on the, as far as in the YouTube on here. That's not what I wanted, because I'm trying to get the comments to see. Is going on? Why is this doing this to me? All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and let me see. Hold on a second, actually. Sorry about this, guys. No. Come on. All right. So that had that going live stream, and then that stopped. Oh my God, I can't believe that. All right, so either way, I got you guys on the stream. I'm not sure why I can't. Let me go and see if I can get back in my studio then. So hold on, so I can at least manage, see where my stream is going, because I guess my old stream that I originally had is no longer going on there. So let me see if I can get this one. There we go. I'll click on here. So now I can go ahead and get into your chat. I apologize for all of you guys that joined in from the other stream, but I am going live, going through. So I wanted to see, did anybody be able to get my superlative correct? Let's see here. Start over. Yes, I am so sorry. Husky, how dare you? I did see your super chat. Thank you so much. I know it was on the other stream, and I apologize. I did get that did show up for me on that. So thank you very much. And no English. Locally help students. No. Well, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, why are only 32 people watching? It's a much better to go and see. And then, yeah, I also have one on the Facebook, so I like that. This is kind of nice because then I can just go ahead and pop this up. Although, hopefully you guys cannot see, but that's not showing up. That's only on the Facebook. That's so weird. All right, well, obviously I should not be playing around with things. I should be go ahead and get this stuff ready on a never private stream. So I'll go ahead and get that into for you guys next time. But either way, guys, let's go ahead and get started on this open Q&A. There are some things I want to let you guys know of. The superlatives that I did actually win was for best smile. So that was my one, I guess, go-to was the best smile. I hope that was something you were thinking, maybe not. But I did want to kind of give you guys a little update as far as where I kind of came from as a student, as well as a little bit more about me. So I am entering my 15th year teaching high school. I've actually been at the same school ever since I graduated college. So I am from Michigan, and I went to college at Western Michigan University. And then once I graduated, I needed a job, and that's what brought me down to Jacksonville, Florida. And so I've been at the same high school teaching math. I've taught everything from Algebra 1 to calculus at my school. And yeah, so I'm entering in my 15th year, and it's definitely going to be the craziest of years for those of you that have, been directly impacted, obviously, with this COVID-19. It's changing a lot the way that education has been done inside of the classroom. And, one of the things that I've kind of had a little bit of a mission was wanting to always change the way that math is instructed, the way that math is kind of delivered to students. And so I started recording myself since in 2010. I wanted just to create videos that my students could go home and watch. And, even back in then, 2010, it was not very common for people to have, recording themselves. And now, basically everybody was expected to be recording themselves and everything like that. So definitely the times have changed a lot. But I do want to let you guys know I reside in Jacksonville with my wife. I have 2 little girls and a dog. And we are doing well, getting through everything through this past year and onto the summer. But my weekends are usually spent pretty busy dealing with 2 little girls, trying to keep them entertained, as well as getting myself prepared, because even during the summer, I still work. I treat the summertime just like if I was still teaching inside the classroom. So, I'm working on preparing content for you guys, as well as preparing for the content of this upcoming year. So there's definitely going to be some things that you guys will know about that I'm going to be posting on my channel. I do have some new video content that I am working on that is going to be up on my channel as well. So a lot of things that I'm pretty excited on. I am able to see the chat. Last live stream, I was not able to get to the chat, guys. So if you do have any questions, this is kind of like, I just figured, hey, I'll answer kind of any questions, really kind of open, not so much really on math. I do have, let's see, I think 4 questions or 5 questions, 6 questions that I'll address mathematically. But if you guys have anything else just about that you guys want to go through, I am happy to kind of address those questions. So let me see if there's anything else. Well, thank you, Daniel, you are very welcome, Daniel, for helping you out with your grade. Rich Pilot Moore, you are very welcome. I would not say hate math. I simply need a grade. I understand. Well, that's good to hear. I'm happy I could help. I have not done partial fraction decomposition in a really long time. So it's something I'd have to go back and review myself before I could teach. Best smile. Hey, you got it. I say I don't like math because I'm not good at it. Yeah, I definitely agree. I don't like basketball because I'm not good at it. But that doesn't mean I can't be good at basketball, right? And actually, I do appreciate a lot of, I do appreciate the sport basketball. It's just one of those things that I never really played, and I was just always bad at it. And so, same kind of thing. It just gave me that resentment, like of something I'm not good at. So I just kind of said, yeah, it's not for me, But I don't think that's fair to basketball or to myself, just to give up on something that, I didn't really ever put in the effort to try to be the best I could be at it. Do you offer anything close to monthly subscription? Would you do anything one-to-one questions? So there is some things that I am testing that I would might be opening up as far as a little bit more access as far as my monthly subscription, because on the YouTube members, which has been helping me create my new content. So thank you very much for all of the YouTube members. On the YouTube membership, I do a private live stream, but it's only once a month. And in addition, I also provide some additional comments some additional videos for them. And then also the chat is I'm a little bit more responsive, the best I can as far as the private membership chat. But there are some things also I'm doing for the membership community that I'm looking into growing. as well as what some things that I'm able to do outside of community memberships for students that want to get some questions. I do have Discord, but it's not something that I really advertise for myself being able to help people out, whereas really it's just this community helping each and everyone out with their math problems. And so that's one thing that I offer, but there are some things I am looking into exploring to be able to kind of give a little bit more of my time. But as I kind of mentioned earlier, my time is pretty busy with dealing with school as well as with, you know, my family and everything like that. So I don't have a lot of time to be doing all of that, but I do try to do the best that I can. All right, I think I got everything up. I am so sorry for those of you guys that were on the previous chat or the previous stream. I don't know why. I'm working on that. I am kind of going back over to the Facebook, and so I kind of have a lot of things going on with there as far as looking on the Facebook, because one thing I wanted to really kind of work on was doing the Facebook stream in addition to the math stream. So either way, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get into the math, and then if you guys do have some questions on Facebook or YouTube, I'll be more than happy to address them, but let's go and get through the math. So these are all questions that were addressed to me on the form, and let me actually check. Does this, when I read it, it wouldn't check the, let me make sure. Yeah, I knew I'd change that. No. Why won't it let me change that? That's so weird. All right, I was going to try to change the my description. Try again. All right. I'm just going to try to change the description here real quick, just so I can get that in there. Just so therefore, if you guys do have questions, again, just a reminder for those of you that have not been on the live stream. So these are all questions that have been pre-submitted to me. So every week I go ahead and post on my community tab in my channel where a link for you guys to go ahead and follow the live stream, as well as a link for you guys to submit your questions. And I submit the questions on the Google form, and that has just kind of been the easiest, fastest way for me to be able to find what you guys are, what kind of questions you guys have, as well as to answer your questions. So sorry, I just wanted to update my live stream here for you guys, and there you go. So now the description's in there. So again, if you're new to the stream and you want to kind of figure out where you can go ahead and submit your questions, there is a Google form. I'm not going to be looking at the Google form for the rest of this live stream. I'm just going to basically do the questions that have already previously been submitted. However, next week for Father's Day, I will be going live as well, and I will be taking your questions then. And also, if you're interested in the members and everything like that, all those links are in the description that I just now posted. So let's go ahead and get into Krishane's question. So he had a question as far as, can you help explain why x to the fourth plus x squared equals 0 only has one solution, as well as x minus 2 times x squared minus 3x plus 3 equals 0 has only one solution? Like, why? So there is a couple things that we need to understand here about the first one. So the first one is a polynomial to the fourth power. And a polynomial to the fourth power is going to have an end behavior that's going to rise to the left, rise to the right, or fall to the left and fall to the right. Now, since my leading coefficient is positive, we know the graph rises to the left and rises to the right? So we have two options. Well, actually, we have three options, right? It cannot cross the x-intercept at all. It could cross it once and actually bounce, or it could, or it could cross it twice. So how do we know what why there's only one solution? Well, if we go ahead and factor out an x squared, we get an x squared equals x plus 1 equals 0. That's not, oh, that'd be an x squared, yeah. There you go. So you get x squared times x squared plus 1. Now, we know if we now apply the zero product property, we get x squared equals 0. So therefore, x equals 0. But over here, we have x squared plus 1 equals 0. So x squared equals -1. And that's not going to be a real solution. So even though it has 3 solutions, these are kind of your imaginary solutions, right? So they're not actually, they're not a solution. There'd be 3 zeros, but they're not it's not a real 0. So the only real 0 is going to be at 0. So your graph might look something like this. Like that or something, okay? So the fact that this property is going to have an imaginary solution means it's going to be or since it's going to be a negative number, or x squared equals a -1. That means it's going to be an imaginary solution. And that's really the same direction over here. Is we again go ahead and use the 0 property. Now this is cubed. So when it's a cubic, because if you were to multiply this out, you get an x cubed. And again, it'd be a positive x cubed. So this has a different end behavior. And again, it could either cross it 3 times or 2 times, or it can just cross it once. Now, how do we know then, again, like why is there only one solution? Well, again, if you apply the 0 product property, you have x minus 2 equals 0, so x equals 2, so that's one real solution. And then what about this real solution? 3x plus 3, right? So you could try factoring it, but if you just go ahead and use the quadratic formula, or purposely what I like to do is just use the discriminant. So the discriminant is b squared minus 4 times a times c. If you remember from the quadratic formula, that is the radicand, what's under the radical. And if this number is negative, that means you're going to have imaginary solutions. So minus 4 times a times c. And yeah, this would be minus 12, which is -3. So again, that's going to be no solution, or you're going to have imaginary numbers for that. So therefore, that is why those are one solution. And then the last question that he submitted is, why is 3x cubed minus square root of x plus 6x minus 1 not a polynomial? And basically, there's a couple reasons or why, like when we look at polynomials or look at the equation. I remember when I first used to teach this, as well as when I was learning polynomials, it was always kind of about like, oh, here's the rules. Like it can't be a negative power or a fractional power. But there really wasn't like an explanation of why that was the case. Or at least I didn't understand that explanation. But once you study polynomials a little bit more in depth after Algebra 2, like in pre-calculus and calculus, you recognize like the behavior of the graph of the polynomial is actually something very important. It's either going to have this end behavior, like it's a continuous function that continues indefinitely in both directions. So it's either going to have end behavior that's in the same direction, like an even function, or it's going to have end behavior in the odd function, like an odd function in opposite directions. But it's continuous, it's smooth, right? And it extends indefinitely. So that is why if you have a square root or any root, which is really the same thing as a fractional power, or if you have negative, which would bring the variable in the denominator that is going to create an asymptote, then therefore it would not be a polynomial. And the reason why that is helpful is when we're really studying the graphs of the polynomials, we have that smooth, continuous function, which is important. All right, the next question gets on to Nicholas, was asking, what is the mean in math? And basically the mean is going to be the sum of all the values and then divided by the number of values. So there are 3 measures for central tendency: the mean, median, and mode. Mean is usually the most commonly used. So yeah, you're just going to add up all the values and divide it by the number of values. So Harsh asked to do 6x squared minus 48x minus 54 equals the quadratic formula. And thank you very much. I do have my calculator, so I will use calculator, but I will kind of show you, again, just a reminder of the quadratic formula. So I kind of did a shortcut over here. And then, but let's go ahead and rewrite, Let's go and rewrite the quadratic formula here. So I have x equals opposite b plus or minus b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2 times a. Okay, so again, these are going to be values. These are going to be the x-intercepts or the solutions or the zeros to this quadratic equation. All right, and remember this a, b, and c all comes from a x squared plus b x plus c. And again, just like it is, you want to make sure that that is equal to 0. All right. So let's just go ahead and plug everything in, and then we'll kind of work our way one at a time. So we have opposite of b. So b is negative 48. So the opposite of negative 48 is a positive 48. Plus or minus, we have 48. Oops. It's actually negative 48 squared, but it doesn't really matter if it was negative 48 or positive 48. So negative 48 squared minus 4 times 6 times negative 54. Okay, and that's going to be all over 2 times 6. All over. All right. So typically what I like to do is go ahead and do the discriminant first. So negative 48 squared. And then we're going to do negative 4 times 6 times negative 50. Let's just do it. It's going to be a positive. So 4 times 6 times 54. All right, so 23 over 4 minus 1296. Oh, sorry, plus. Plus 1296. All right, so that becomes 48 plus or minus. So when you do negative 48 squared minus 4 times 6 times 54, you get a 3600 divided by 12. Okay, now hopefully you kind of recognize, well, 36 is 6 squared, right? So if you did 60, then that would be 3600. So I can say that's going to be 48 plus or minus 60 all over 12. Now, this 12 can divide into both of these. So you can break this up as a 48 over 12 plus or minus a 60 over 12, right? So you could add the numerator or subtract the denominator, but you can also go ahead and divide this 12 into both of these terms. So, and the reason why I kind of like that is because this fraction is not too bad. Like 12 goes into 48, so that'd be 24, so that's going to be a 4 times, right? And that's going to be plus or minus 60, that's going to go in there 5 times. So now I have, sorry, 4 plus 9 is, or sorry, so 4 plus 5 is 9, and 4 minus 5 is a negative 1. So those are going to be your solutions. X equals 9 and negative 1. That's let me just double check something. Yeah. Yeah, okay, cool. Yep, that is it. Correct. Julian posted a question about sum of series, and I do not remember the formulas. I was trying to do this like between like 15 minutes before I went live, guys. So my recommendation is use the formula. There is a formula for how to find the sum of a series. I do not remember it. I haven't done summation and series or sequences and series in a couple of years, so I would just have to look it up and like just refresh my brain on all that kind of stuff. So, but just go and you look up the formula for the sum of series, and then it's just like a plug and chug for the problem that you gave me. All right, Art Bralex Illusions. I'm not really sure how your handle was. It was just at Bralex, and then you had Illusions. So I figure I'd give you a shout out from that. And then you had one that was about the Pythagorean theorem, how to go ahead and find the hypotenuse. So the nice thing about the Pythagorean theorem is really it doesn't really matter what your triangle is. I mean, if you have a right triangle, right? So here's your right triangle. And remember, your right triangle, your right angle always points to your hypotenuse, right? So you have here is a squared, here is b squared, right? So we have a squared and b squared, and your is equal to c squared. So you can see that these are my two legs, 15 squared and 20 squared. So really, all I need to do is say 15 squared plus 20 squared equals x squared. Now, there's something really important, though, that we can remember about right triangles, and that is also your Pythagorean triplets. And our most famous Pythagorean triplet here is the 3, 4, 5 triangle. Now, the nice thing about the 3, 4, 5 triangle is you can keep on doubling it. That works also if it was 6, 8, 10, which also works if this was That was 15, 20. Was that your question? Yeah, 4. Well, actually, that one's not going to work in for there. But let's see if I double. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That was a different one. Oh, but yeah, it still would work. Either way, I think what I find is when I go ahead and divide this, yeah, this is a similar triangle, because if you go ahead and divide these two sides by 5, you would get 3 and 4. So therefore, I know that this is going to be 5 times 3, which is, no, sorry, 5 times 5, which would be, yeah, you divide these are not divided by 3, divide by 5. 20 divided by 5 is 4. 15 divided by 5 is 3. So therefore, you can see, I'm writing this horribly. But anyways, this is a relationship. That's going to be 25 is the answer. And that is just knowing with my understanding of my Pythagorean triples. So, but either way, let's just go and go through this. So this is 225, 15 squared plus 400 equals x squared. And that's going to be 625 equals x squared. You take the square root, and that is 25 equals x. So again, you could just use the Pythagorean theorem, but I'd also recommend, especially as you're moving into like geometry and pre-calculus or trigonometry, to recognize those Pythagorean triples, recognize that relationship. All right, and then the last math question that we have is m equals, so we have our slope m equals 4/15, and we have it's a equation that goes through the line 5/7, or 5, 7, and then we want to write the equation and then find the zeros. So if we're going to write the equation, we're going to have y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Okay? So y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Got that. Now, the next thing is we can say that's x1, and that's y1, and this is our m. Okay? So let's just go and plug everything in. So we have y minus y1 equals 4/15 times x minus x1, which is 5. Boom. That is the equation of a line. It's not in slope-intercept form, but that is the equation of a line. But now the question was, find these zeros. And so we got to think like, I have no idea what this graph looks like. Let's just pretend this graph, looks like this. Okay? What is the zeros? What is the zeros of the graph? Well, the zeros is going to be the x values when y is equal to 0. So that's going to be x equals, what does x equal when y is equal to 0? All right, so what we're basically need to do then is just plug 0 in for y. Just plug y is equal to 0, and then, so plug 0 in for y, and then solve for x. So 0 minus 7 equals 4/15 times x minus 5. All right, and then we'll just go ahead and distribute here. So we'll have a negative 7 equals 4/15 x. And then let's see, that's going to be over 1, so that'd be a negative 20 over 15. And now we just got to solve for x. And the students give me some fraction operations, so I'll add a 20/15 to the other side, and then multiply. Oh, jeez. What would be the easiest way of doing this? Well, all right, so we have negative 7 plus 20/15 equals 4/15 x. Now, if I wanted to combine these, I need to write negative 7 in terms of 15ths, right? So what I'm going to do is multiply by 15 over 15, and it'll be 70, 35, so 105. Yep. So negative 7 is equal to the same thing as negative 105 over 15, right? Because 15 divides into negative 105 7 times. The nice thing about writing it that way, though, is now it's a fraction with 15 in the denominator. That means you can apply your fraction operations, right? Now we just need to combine our denominator, which is going to give us a negative 85 over 15. Okay, And then you could just multiply by 15 on both sides, or since the denominator is going to be the same, that's going to give you a negative 85 equals 4x. Divide by 4. Divide by 4. And then that doesn't go into there evenly, so I'm just going to leave that as an improper fraction. So that would be negative 85 fourths. So that is going to be your 0. I'm going to see if I can sit back on my chair. Not so bad. All right. Same way, just me sitting on my chair instead of standing up. Oh, man. So hello, guys. All right, so that is it. Ledger Boy, how are you? Sushuki Demon, very nice. Somebody shut up. Wow, geez, guys. Man, you ain't doing Q&A. I did do Q&A. I did Q&A that was presented to me. Because I don't do open, I do the live Q&A. I do the Q&A that has been previously submitted to me. But now I am finished with the questions that have been open. And so I will kind of go back through the chat and kind of see anything that you guys do have from me. Sended. Jeez, man. Okay. I'm confused with replacement sets. I'm not sure. I'd have to go and take a look at them. I don't do any exact, sequences series. I would just need to go back and look at them. I know I do get a lot of questions on sequences series, so that is something that I am looking into adding into my pre-calculus curriculum back end. We used to teach it, and I just haven't. We stopped teaching it in pre-calculus, in my pre-calculus, so it's just not something that I've covered in a long time. And the same thing with the Taylor series. It's not something that I had to cover since I was in calculus, so I just need to go back and review it, and I apologize. It's not something I'm able to quickly go over with you tonight. Dinah says, I don't have any questions, but I just want to say really thank you for helping me out this year. Well, you're very welcome, Dinah. I'm very happy to be able to help you out. Sir, why did the 48 turn positive? Good question. Where did 48 turn positive? Oh, because it's the opposite of B. So B in this case is negative 48. So the opposite of negative 48 is a positive 48. So hopefully that answers your question. I didn't study all year, and the last day I watched your video for 5 minutes and I failed. Well, AJ, I would recommend going back through and studying a little bit more for there, or at least maybe trying to space things out. Sir, can you explain the quadratic formula? Well, I just went over the quadratic formula. I'm not sure if that is what you were looking for. I'm not sure if you were looking for more like of an explanation of why the quadratic formula works or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, I went through this example for that, just kind of basically goes through a little bit. I mean, it was just a plug and chug, me kind of going through this. Yeah, just remember series, Melinda, is just the sum. I mean, well, obviously, I believe I noticed from Discord, I know you're getting a little bit more into the calculus form of the series. But yeah, just remember, I mean, for series, it's really just adding. It's just a sum, right? And that's a sum of that, obviously, sequences. And obviously, you get a little bit more advanced in the calculus form. But when you're breaking things down, that is basically what it is. Well, yes, indeed, I'm not lying to you. But yeah, I do the open Q&A. The open Q&A is basically right now. But you guys have the ability to pre-submit questions and to make the live stream go a little bit cleaner and faster and efficient. I have students kind of pre-submit questions ahead of time. And those are the questions I go through first. Can I go through the difference between a linear function and a linear equation? The only difference would basically just be the notation that we use. For functions, we typically like to use function notation like f of x. So like f of x equals 3x plus 5 is a linear function. Y equals 3x plus 5 is a linear equation. You could also call it a linear function, but it's just not in function notation. So there's really no difference besides that. I would just say between as far as the notation goes. Cole says he does math for fun. It's summer, take a break. Yeah, well, I kind of I'm a little bit obsessed, I will say, about doing not so much doing math, but also I think as far as like the learning portion and really kind of getting myself prepared for the school year, because I'm not sure if you guys notice, but you know, a lot of times when you get into the school year, your teachers they're busy. And you know, when I get into teaching, like once the school year starts, I mean, it's teaching all throughout the day. Then you're grading, and then you're like preparing, and then you're adjusting like based on the lessons that you planned on, and it gets busy, busy, busy. So during the summertime, I mean, this is like my big time to really make sure that I am as well prepared and you know have everything I need to. You know, I have videos, I have worked out solutions, I have a lot of things for my courses. But still, I still get very deep. Well, Moshe, thank you very much for the super chat. Thank you so much for your set. Well, I really, really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. And I'm so happy that my videos have been able to help you out. How long does your merch take to chef French fry? It does take a little bit. I don't know. I think maybe like a week or two from on there. This year I gotta get better. I wanted to have some new things coming out. So whatever I do have up there, if you wanted to kind of make sure you get that soon, because I think I'm probably going to revise everything that's on that merch. Probably coming up here really soon. Not really soon, but definitely before the upcoming school year, I'll be changing all that out. So that is something coming up. But yeah, I do appreciate it. I try to keep, guys, everything on my merch is as cheap as I possibly can make it. I basically don't get anything from on there. I just appreciate you guys always getting the little bit of the support for on my channel. So I always appreciate that from you guys. Well, thank you very much, Ben. And with closed captioning, is a bit difficult to follow what you say. Yeah, I can agree, James. I talk very fast, and sometimes, especially when I'm explaining things, students online, they all tell me, slow down. And, you know, so yeah, that's definitely something that I have to do. Jordan, I do not do physics, nor do I do statistics. Yes, thanks, Belinda. From there. All right. So, is there any other questions? French fry. Well, thank you very much, French fry. That's pretty good. And throughout my senior year. Well, that's awesome. And congratulations through getting through on the senior year. And I do apologize for everything that kind of had to happen for you on the senior year. It was just it's crazy. There's really you know, you don't even like know how to put things into words. Nobody was, you know, planning or could like even you know, really explain, I think, the full depth of just how everything went, you know, just from going through a school year and then all of a sudden it's like, bye, you know, like on and off, like going to the next thing. Like, it's crazy. Some of us don't have good hearing. Well, thank you, James. And, you know, my one problem is I wish I could go ahead and add more captions to all of my videos. I just have so many videos. It's almost impossible for me to be able to do that. But I have paid for at least transcriptions for at least my top, I think like 100 videos I at least had done from there. And those are at least the videos that the most amount of people are, you know, going and watching. So we're kind of going from there. I think one of my daughters is up trying to get in, which is not good if that is the case, because then it means it's 9:41 and it's way too late. Yes, I'm not going to find the roots. Well, Jeff Hardy, well, thank you very much. You're just helping you through high school class of 2020. Get it, Jeff. Get it. That's awesome, guys. Very happy. So does anybody have any other questions on the who is this guy? So kind of going back through, I apologize. I kicked off a whole bunch of you guys from getting on my live stream. I had everything set and I was like, all right, we're going to go ahead and do this. And then the live stream switches over. So I do apologize for that. But let's see what else. Oh, I didn't even get to tell you guys. God, there's so many other things I wanted to tell you that I think I got flustered when I was starting my stream. So I was going to let you guys know that, yeah, that was my best smile. I told you guys a little bit about my family. The sports, I played football, wrestling, and baseball when I was in school. And then in college, I didn't play any sports, but then I started playing rugby. And I played rugby for just about 10 years total. And then I haven't played in the last, I think this will be like the first year that I haven't played a match. So eventually my back is finally given out on me. And I wasn't able to, haven't been able to play yet. So I did get your super chat. I'm not sure why you mean returns. I got your, I can't remember the things. I did get your super chat on the other live stream. That went through, but I didn't get any super chats. I didn't get any super chat from you on this live stream. So I'm not sure. It's probably have to maybe check into from that. But yes, I apologize for that. I'm not sure what else would be going on. You still playing? You just don't. You still playing, right? You just don't realize. Yeah, it's a killer on your body. I mean, even playing like sports. I played sports all throughout my life: football, wrestling, and baseball. And I mean, I just go from one sport to the next, one sport to the next. And then summertime was like the same thing. You know, then you're doing like summer camps, and baseball would take you all the way through, into July. And then obviously then that's preseason football. And it's like going into there. And then that's fall baseball. It's like, you just like never kind of stop anything. And yeah, I do watch sports, whatever sports used to be on. Obviously from Michigan, I mostly follow the Michigan teams. Hold on a second. I think my daughter's up. John, go to bed. Okay. Discriminant at the length of a rectangle is 5 more than. Yeah, Taekwondo is good. Are you good at math? All right, so now there's some good questions coming in. I got to go and check them. I used to live in Michigan. I was born and raised in Michigan in a little town, Dexter, outside of Ann Arbor. But now I live in Jacksonville, Florida. All right. So I'm not going to do any more math. My brain is already kind of mushed from doing those, but I will answer some of these other questions that kind of keep on. So yeah, I do watch the sports. I do like all basically, hockey, baseball, basketball, football, all the just kind of like major sports, rugby, from on there. And then even like golf and like other stuff. Like I just enjoy competition in sports. So anything that's really kind of going on, I think is interesting or fun to watch. How do you get better at word problems? It's really just, word problems is just a math problem, like designed in words. So it's really just taking the important information out of that word problem and developing the equations and then to go ahead and solve. Because my daughter is back. Juliana, what's wrong? Where's mommy? Okay. Well, that was the second interruption from there. Kung Fu Guy says, where was that question? I saw it in there. Did how much you grow on YouTube just from making math videos surprise you? Yes, it did. Well, kind of. So I think like the first 6 years that I created videos, I really didn't have much growth. I mean, I created probably in 6 years, I probably created definitely like 8,000 videos, and I would just crank out videos, but I didn't really try to grow. I was just creating videos for people online. And then it wasn't until, about 2016 that I was like, I need to take YouTube a little bit more seriously, because I think up to that time, I maybe had like 30,000 subscribers, which is a lot, which was, a lot now, but it was definitely a lot like at the end, but it wasn't really anything I'd try. It was just me posting videos, but I didn't have any thumbnails. I didn't have any descriptions. So it's kind of crazy. And then after 2016 is where I really started putting in some time and effort into my thumbnails, into my descriptions. And that's really where kind of my channel really started kind of growing a little bit from there. And that's something I'm doing now too. Like you can see I've slowed down my upload schedule just because people don't need, 30 different videos, or at least I already have 30 different videos on quadratic formula. Like, so I don't need to be pumping out 5 different videos a day like I used to. So I've definitely kind of slowed down from there. Carlos G says, Khan Academy, enough to have for your fundamentals ready for Calculus 1. I'm not really too sure from there. I think one part of it is yes. If you have a decent like understanding from the Khan Academy. On the other hand, I would say no. Like I like Khan Academy a lot I used it when I was teaching calculus as well as when I was teaching algebra 2 as like a supplement. But I don't really use it for the pre-calculus curriculum that I teach. It just doesn't match the way that I instruct and what I'm trying to teach. So I think it's, if that's all you have, I definitely think you can get a solid enough foundation from Khan Academy. However, I wouldn't say yeah, just do Khan Academy. You don't need a teacher and you'll be fine. Like, I think there's a lot more that a teacher, or even other curriculum is going to really kind of do to prepare you for calculus. All right. Wow. Oh. Yeah, so 5 more than twice the width. So you're going to take 2w plus 5. And then you're going to have that equal to the area and then find the perimeter. So then go ahead and find x and then find there, because that is a length of rectangular field that has 5 more than double the width. So one side is x and the other side is going to be 2x plus 5. So therefore, since it's a rectangle, their perimeter is going to equal 250, I believe. Oh, the total area is that. So 2x plus 5 times x equals 250. And then go ahead and solve for x, plug x back in, and then go ahead and solve. You got a little secret. You're Canadian, say it. No, I'm not Canadian, but obviously in Michigan, I was pretty close. My oldest graduated high school yesterday. I don't miss the banging on the office door grinders. Yeah, it is what it is, like usually people laugh, like the only reason why we go live, or I go live at 9 o'clock is typically because my girls are supposed to be in bed and asleep. So at our old house, I didn't have even a room to do live streams. I would just do live streams in the middle of our living room or dining room. And so if you watch my live streams from last year, that's where those live streams were. They're just in my dining room. And so I had to be like a little bit like as quiet as possible, because obviously our daughters were much younger then. And so we were trying to get them to fall asleep. And 9 o'clock was like the time. But now the girls are a little bit older. And so what they're doing is, obviously kind of need to keep on coming out to not want to go to bed. So we're in that stage. Well, hey, Math Legend, good to have you back onto another live stream. Good to see you. What was my favorite math class? My favorite math class was graph theory. That was like really the first class where I really just kind of like enjoyed doing math problems. It's kind of weird and dorky, I know. But actually before, people allowed me to think like I didn't really enjoy calculus. I didn't really enjoy linear algebra. Like it was just math and you're just doing math problems. I didn't really I enjoyed it. Like there was some part of me that enjoyed it, but it wasn't like I was enthusiastic about it. But it wasn't until I got to graph theory where I was like, I actually like this stuff. Like this was actually really, really interesting stuff to learn. And because it's not really like anything that you've done before. And so that is the kind of math I like. I like proofs. I like pure math a little bit more than the, applications of mathematics and like physics and calculus and all that kind of stuff. do you enjoy making these videos? Would you say it's somewhat of a hobby? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, people say like, what do you do for fun? I mean, literally, like today, I kind of took or this weekend, I kind of took a break from YouTube because I was just wanted to work outside and just kind of like, took a break really. But besides that, like a lot of my weekends, when I'm working in the evenings, I'm doing YouTube stuff. Like I'm working on my channel. I mean, it is a hobby, but it's also like a full-time job. So there's a lot that I do and have, people help me as well now to get everything organized. I mean, it's a lot goes into it, especially a lot too that I'm planning on doing with my channel. So that is, so yeah, it is a hobby, but it's not. I mean, I'm still teaching, but it does still take up a lot of my time. How about you start making vlogs or somewhere instead of educational videos? Yeah. See, my only problem with the vlogs is I'm just not like, I don't spend any time editing. That's why I like live streams, and that's why I like doing my videos that I did before, because it just doesn't like, I don't know how to edit. I mean, I know how to do basic editing, but I don't know how to edit. I don't want to spend time editing. And then also to have somebody edit, it's very expensive. So yeah, that's why, I am kind of doing some new videos that do take editing and, that investment from that end. But yeah, that is, I do want to kind of change some things up. I'm going to come out with some new content. But yeah, as far as the vlogs, I don't know, that's just a lot. I do a vlog a little bit for my membership. It's not a special vlog, it's an unedited vlog. And it's basically just me kind of giving you a little bit more personal touch into things that are going on behind the scenes for myself from out there. Why does everybody want me to be Canadian? I can see your princess awake. Yeah, she is awake. My oldest. What else did I get? What was my favorite movie? Favorite movie, Dumb and Dumber. I've seen it way more times than I could ever count. I haven't watched it in a while, but that movie is, I think, just one of the all-time classics. You've grown drastically. You've come a long way with the great work. Well, thank you very much. Oh man. I get stuck with this problem. No more math. The foci and covertices. So just remember, at least Olivia, I can help you out with that. Or at least just remember the distance from the center to your covertices is B. The distance from your center to your foci is C. So it looks like you have 62 is C and 5 is B. So therefore, you're going to have to use the equation for an ellipse, which is what? C squared equals A squared minus B squared, to go ahead and find A. And then just remember that the center is in the middle of your two covertices, as well as in the middle of your two foci. So it looks like that's going to be 0, 0 based on your points. So hopefully going from there, you can kind of write the equation. Yeah, Khan Academy. The math, thank you very much. Projection of vectors, no, we actually don't teach projection in my pre-calculus class. And I know something that's also comes up in physics, which I do not recall from in there. So that is so yeah, that's not something I would be able to cover, at least from there. It's something I do recall. I remember going over. I can't remember if it was in my physics class or in one of my calculus classes dealing with projection, but it's not something I remember. It's not something I teach. So I'd have to go back and review that. And computer science, I've never taught computer science or taken a computer science class, so I can't really get into what type of math or exactly what you are doing in that class as far as relating to math. Good. Online geometry class. Good for you, Pori. Thanks. What can I do? Thanks for math in a way that's understandable. You are very well, J Still Games. I did not know, Cindy, that what's his name? Simon Khan. I can't remember his first name, but yeah, I didn't know he was from Bangladesh. That's very cool. What was the hardest part in math in high school? I think the hardest part in, or at least, I don't know, I'm not sure what that question means, but I think the hardest part for me for math in high school was just doing the work. Because I think like if I would forget something, or like I was always in sports, as I kind of mentioned from the beginning. So when I was taking sports or whatever else, like I just want to have time to do my homework and then like focusing on that. Like I was taking, you're taking 8 classes or 7 classes or whatever was the case. And it was just, fitting in all that information. Then you're having like, friends and sports, and like it was just overwhelming for me. And that's what I kind of figured was like the hardest of you. Sal, yes. Yeah, Sal, come. Yeah, forgetting the math. It's just like, I just remember going through class, and like one of the tips I always tell people, like, yeah, when you learn the math, like do it, like write it down. But I remember, I can't even tell you, I remember being in math class. I remember this vividly. Being in math class, totally understanding what was going on, writing down notes, writing down what my teacher was going on the board, like feeling good. Okay, I understand this. So what? Since I understand this, I'm not going to do my homework. I will do it later tonight because I know exactly what I'm doing. So then I'd go sports, do whatever, eat dinner, sit back down at like 8, 9 o'clock at night to do my homework. And then I have no idea what I'm doing. Look at my notes. I don't know what any of this means. I would totally, completely forget everything. And then, unfortunately, when I was in high school, we didn't have the internet to search up things. So then I'd go back to looking at the book and trying to figure out, like, what am I doing? What am I trying to do? And a lot of times I remember that would never be the case. So I was always trying to like find a friend, before class and lunch or before school, and trying to understand if they did their homework. What did they do? And like try to understand what you're supposed to do. And I just remember that was just like a constant struggle for me. As projection question, thank you. Much love from Canada. All right, Tyrex, you're awesome from Canada. So if 44 was positive in the equation, would it have been turned negative? Yes, that is correct. It would have. I have not watched Extraction. Oh, Salkan. I'm not sure, but I wanted to answer LOL. In the question of the quadratic formula, I did 60 times 60. So I just kind of knew that. I can't even remember where that's. Oh, I just plugged this into my calculator. That's how I got it. So yeah, I didn't do that in my head. I plugged this using my calculator from on there. Well, Tushar, good morning. It is actually 10 p.m. for me. So I am going to end off the stream and go ahead and get off. But thank you so much, guys, for joining in. I will be going live next Sunday for Father's Day, and hopefully you guys can join in. If you guys do have questions, feel free to go ahead and submit in the chat, and I'll be more than happy to address your question then. But otherwise, guys, thank you so much. Have a great week, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Cheers.